Hi, welcome to Blinking Minds EduTech. Today we are going to discuss what is the system of study and why do we need this system. For example, to do anything, we need to follow a system. So if you want to come to school, there is a system. If you want to watch a program in TV or watch sports in the TV, there is a system. For example, if you want to come to school, you need to wake up early in the morning, you need to brush, you need to go for washroom, and you need to drink milk or something, and you will go for a bath and take a school uniform, and you will have the breakfast, and you will wear the shoe and take the school bag and lunch bag, and you take your own transportation or school bus transportation, and you will reach to the school in time. So this is called a system. So this is what you need to follow to reach the school. But without doing this, you can miss few things. But without doing bath, you can come to school. Some students will be there without doing the bath, they can come to school. Without wearing the uniform, they will come to school. Or they will come late by the mistake of their parents to reach the school, or by mistake of waking up late. But end of the day, you reach the school. But there is something will be missing in this. Like when you don't do the bath, and if you come, then you will feel like somewhat irritated in the full day in your school. So that is incomplete. You have not followed the system. So when you don't wear a school uniform, you can come to school. But when you come to school, your PT sir or sports person, teacher will ask you why didn't you wear the uniform. Or your teachers who are come to your class on particular day, they keep asking you why you didn't wear the uniform. So then you feel that this is what you are missing that day. And your friends will be asking you why you didn't wear uniform, and you need to answer them for everybody. So that is what incomplete. So when you come late to the school, then you will be missing the assembly, and your teachers will be asking why you came late to the school. And this is what you miss this. So if you come in a proper way, you reach the school. There is no one to answer. So you don't need to answer to anybody. Why you didn't come late? Why you didn't wear the uniform? Why you didn't do bath? Your friends will be laughing at you. You're getting foul smell when you don't do bath or when you don't do brushing. So this is all you don't need to answer. Then you'll spend the time in a proper way. So the same way, there is a system for studying. That is, the system is called, what is the system of study? The system is called listening. The first principle in the class, what you do in the class is to listen in the class. This is called listening. Understanding. Third principle is reading. And fourth is learning. And fifth is memorizing. So this is what makes every child. How do they follow? These 5 principles will make the student average, above average, and topper. The student who follows the 5 principles exactly how they need to be followed, then that student will become topper in the class. And the student who follows or misses some principles in this or don't follow exact way, then they will become above average in their academics. And the student who don't follow this system of study and ignore all the principles, and for the sake of their parents, with the force of their parents, they'll come to school and they ignore all these 5 principles, and then they'll become average in their class. Only this much. This is average, will above average and topper student. Everybody have equal brain. And they have equal brain power too. Go and search in Google who is born genius. Then you can find that every child is born genius. But the things, how do they follow that makes them de-genius in their life? So this is what every child needs to know. So what happens when the student knows what is the purpose of going to school or college? When he realizes why they are going to school, why they were sending to school or college, to what purpose? What is the purpose? The purpose is to listen in the class and understand the subject or the topic or the lessons in the class, what teacher was explaining in the class. So when you do this, you will be covering these two principles. Listening and understanding will be done in the class itself. Every child will do only these two principles, and remaining these three principles will be doing at home. But see, listen, from morning 8:30 to 3:30, you will be listening to the teacher, listening and understanding the topics or lessons in the class. Only that much you will be doing. But when you listen and understand properly, you can learn 70% of the topics in the class itself. But what happens? Why students don't listen and understand in the class? When students don't connect to the topic, when students don't get interest, when the students don't know the purpose of going to school, they don't listen in the class, they don't understand the topic. Then what they will do? Or what you will do in the class? You will be daydreaming. You will be daydreaming and distracting and diverting yourself for other things, or thinking about your upcoming events like functions, or thinking about the movies, or thinking about the dresses you want to purchase, or shopping, or someone is coming to your home, about the relatives, or how you are going to play at home after completion of the school hours, what you are going to play. This all will be thinking in the class. So that is the basic problem every child faces, and this is what no school or no tuition center is going to teach you. What you need to do in the class, how you need to listen and understand the concept in the class. But teachers can be saying you listen carefully, understand the topic. These are the important points. Every teacher will be saying like this, but the student mind won't allow to listen, because there are the reasons. Because every human brain have two parts. One brain, two parts: conscious brain, subconscious brain. What conscious brain will do? Whatever you listen, whatever you observe, whatever you see through eyes, when you are interested, when you are really interested to take inside of your brain, to feed into your brain, this conscious brain will be active. If the conscious brain's purpose is to grab the information and feed into subconscious brain. So when conscious brain is absent, then your subconscious brain will start activating. And when the subconscious brain will be active, when it will be active, then you will be not consuming any information. When teacher is teaching the topics, you will not be understanding, you will not be listening to the teacher. The subconscious brain will make you, this is dangerous. There's a more powerful one and the most dangerous one, because it will make this subconscious brain will make you to daydream, make you to distract, make you to divert. Because its subconscious brain's work is not to consume the information. It's the business of conscious brain. So subconscious brain will not take any information inside. It will only what you have feeded from many years. Only that part will it bring it back. Then you will start thinking. See, when you sit in the class, when subconscious brain is active, you will be looking to the teacher, and teacher can see you that you are observing or listening to the teacher, but in your brain, subconscious brain will be thinking about something or dreaming about something. You whatever you want, whatever you feed it so far in your brain, that all will come into brain. Don't know what time what will come. The information suddenly connects to something, then you start going in deep into that. You start thinking about it. In the meanwhile, teacher completes the lesson. Though when your conscious brain is not active, so you don't know what exactly teacher was teaching, what examples, how teacher was giving to that lesson. So you will not listen and you will not understand. Then subconscious brain, you will be diverting yourself and you're distracting to teachers at other things. Your friends are playing with a pen or paper or drawing in the books, are feeling sleepy, are watching outside the windows, outside the classroom. This all will happen. Then why this will happen? Because when you are not connected to the topic what teacher is teaching, when you don't connect to the teacher, this conscious brain will not be active. It's not about in the class, wherever you are, whether your parents are saying something, when you are not interested in what they are saying, then you will not be listening to your parents. You will be thinking about something else. That means your subconscious brain is active. So this problem, this subconscious brain, when you sit in the class and when you activate this subconscious brain, the more you activate your subconscious brain, the more you will become average in your academics. Above average. If you stop something, then you will become above average. That means your conscious brain and subconscious brain are working simultaneously. Few times you are concentrating to the teacher with conscious brain, and the few times you are concentrating with subconscious brain, activating your subconscious brain, then you are missing some points, some lessons. That because of that you are above average in your studies. And if you activate only conscious brain in the entire class, 40 minutes of the class, conscious brain, then only topper. You will become topper in the class. Just look at the toppers in your class. Go and observe what they are doing. They will be looking very active in the class. They will be ready to give answers to the teacher. Whenever teacher asks the questions, they will raise their hands and they will ready to give the answers. And they know the importance of listening and understanding in the class. Because of that, they keep focus and they follow this entire system of study, these 5 principles in the system of study, because these are interlinked. If you focus, listen and understand, you cannot become topper. If you learn and memorize, you cannot become topper. You need to follow the entire system. So listening and understanding, as I said, you can learn 70% of the subject. And when you read the lesson at home, when the teacher explains the lesson in the class, after coming from school, you go home and open the book and read the lesson. When you read the lesson, so what will you get when you read the lesson? When you read the lesson, you can, if you listen and understand in the class without giving chance to the subconscious brain, when you start reading the lesson, what happened in the class, how teacher explained, what kind of example she gave, what kind of questions teacher asked, who all the students answered to the questions, who all gave wrong answers. So this all will come into a picture. So video frame, you can visualize that by reading the lesson. And the second important is, you will come to know what you understood in the topic, what you didn't understood in the topic, so that you will come to know what you need to ask the teacher in the next day. What you understood, it's okay, fine. What you didn't understand, then you can ask your teacher, or if you are going for a tuition, you can ask the tuition center, what tuition sir or madam, what is missing in the topic, what you didn't understand in the topic. And you can improve your vocabulary, you can improve your reading skills, your communication skills by reading this lesson. And next, third important point is, when you listen and understand the topic in the class, that means you have sent the information into your brain. You feed it the information or the lessons, topic, concept, whatever it is. First, it went to first time into your brain. So the brain is familiar with the topic. And when you read the lesson, that means you are repeating the concept, repeating the words, whatever there in the lesson or the topic. That means second time, 2 times you have repeated in your brain. So now the brain is from conscious to subconscious, that the total information you feed it in the subconscious brain. And when you start learning the answers, it will be very, very, very easy to your brain to learn the answers very fast, because you have read, listened and understood. You have understood the concept and you have read the lesson. Means 2 times you repeat it, and learning is very easy. What you do, what is the meaning of learning? Taking the entire information into your brain and feeding it in a proper way. So when you feed it in a proper way, to feed it in a proper way, to learn it faster, then you need to do these 3. Listen and understand the reading. These 3 principles in the system of study, if you do, learning is very easy. And second thing, learning happens to categories. Okay, one is learning by understanding the concept, learning by having the concept. So when you do these 3 principles in a proper way, then that means you are learning by understanding. When you understand and learn the answers, you can remember at any point of time. You can learn n number of answers, n number of lessons. When you learn by understanding the concept and repeating it in a proper way and learning in a proper way by understanding. And when you do the same with by-hearting or cramming the answers, that means you have not listened in the class, you have not understood the topic, you have not read the lesson, and when the examination comes, before the examination, you start learning the answers. That means you are forcing your brain to take the information into your brain. When you force the information into your brain, it takes time. Just think, if you are taking one answer for longer time to learn, that means you are by heading. That means you are not learning by understanding. You are just cramming the answers and you are pushing the answers into your brain, because you are learning it the first time. The concept is first time, the words in it in a first time you are taking inside. What toppers will do, they will do these three, and that's why they learn very faster and they save a lot of time. But the average and above average students take some extra time to learn the answers, because they have not followed these three principles in a proper way. So due to this, learning happens tough for the average and above average students, and very easy for the topper students. So when you start learning the answers by hearting or cramming, you cannot remember all the answers whatever you learned. Just think, last exam what you have written, how did you study? You have learned every answer, and you went to this examination hall, you took the paper, you opened the question paper and you saw all the answers, and your brain says that, oh yes, you have learned all these answers. Then you will be happy inside. But when you start writing it on a paper, as an answer sheet, the questions or the answers, what you felt like you have learned it, they will be stuck. You don't know the first sentence itself. You will not able to remember the first sentence, or you will not be able to remember the few points in that, or you will be getting the mixed answers, like getting confusion from other answer to this answer, or you will be thinking, what is this? Is it correct or not? This is the right answer or not? What I am writing? You will be like this will happen. So if it is happening to you when you are sitting in the examination hall, and you are getting confusion, you are not able to remember the answers, and you are not able to identify the right answer, or you are not able to bring it outside from your brain, that means you have learned by heading or cramming the answers. The difference between the topper and average and below average students or above average students is they learn by understanding, and the average and above average or below average, they learn by cramming. These people will entirely cram the answers, and this above average students, few answers or few lessons, few topics they will understand and they will learn easily, and the remaining answers or the remaining lessons they will learn by having or cramming the answers. Because of that, whatever they know they can write, whatever they didn't get from their brain to write it on the paper, then they will not able to write it on a proper way. The second thing, every student to remember the longer ways, then you need to do memorizing. So what is the use of memorizing the answers? Only topper students will get the time to memorize the answers because they follow the system. 4 principles in the system of study. They listen in the class, understand the stuff, then they have learned 70%, and they learn by reading the answer. They finish 85% of learning, and when they learn the answers, 100% finish. They don't take much time to learn the answers, so they will be getting enough time to memorize. And when you do memorizing the answers, then what is the importance? Because every day you will be learning the new lessons, new concepts. So when you don't memorize what you have learned previously, then that will be vanished from your subconscious brain. To keep it in a proper way in your subconscious brain, the way you think about your movies, the way you think about your events or your best moments, how do you repeat from your brain? So think about more times, then you can remember very clearly about that memories. The same way, if you keep thinking about what you have learned or questioning yourself, what is this answer for? What is this? How do we do this? What have I learned this? When you keep repeating in your brain whenever you get the time, that means you are memorizing the answers, Then when you do this or repeat a few times, then it will stay in your subconscious brain, and whenever you need, it will come back. Whenever somebody asks the question about the topic, then you immediately give the answer to the teacher or in the examination hall somewhere else. So this is what every student needs to know: what is the system of study, how conscious brain, subconscious brain works, and how students average and above average daydream in the class, distract themselves, divert themselves, how topper students will study, how do they get more time, and how every student has an equal brain. Don't think that I'm not a clever student, I'm not genius, I'm not born to study, I'm born to do something else. So this is the biggest question you will be listening to from many people, saying every student has the capability of doing something, or every student has capability of doing better than other thing than the studies. See, remember one thing: to become good in anything, whether in your studies, whether in your sports, whether in arts or crafts or dance, everywhere you need to put your effort and you need to follow the system. Unless and until you follow the system, you cannot become number one in that. To become number one, first you need to identify the system, the proper system or the blueprint to achieve, to be a topper in that particular area, whether in sports, arts, dance, or music, whatever it is, or your studies, wherever you want. There is a system that you need to follow. Don't think that if I'm not good in studies, I'll become something else good. You can become good in studies and you can become good in other things. In my next video, I will tell you one student goes from 5:30 to 8:30. You will be going for cricket coaching, and 9 o'clock to 3:30 you will be in school, and again 4 to 7:30 you will be going for cricket coaching, and then you will hardly get half an hour time to study at home, because from morning to evening traveling, cricket practice and school hours, you'll be fully tired, but you will be left only 30 minutes, but still he is topper in the class and the best bowler in his cricket coaching. I will tell you the story, what exactly he was doing. I will tell you how you can become good in both the things, how you need to follow the system. Because why I wanted to share that video, because most of the students sit in the class from 8:30 to 3:30 in the school and think about something to become a dancer, to become a singer, to become a cricketer, or to become a sports person, something else. My point is, when you are sitting in 8:30 to 3:30 in the school, why don't you utilize the time where you can learn 70%, where you can get 70% of marks? You can do these 70% marks and you can concentrate on other activities. See, if you are wasting, diverting, daydreaming, distracting, diverting in the class, that means you are training your brain to divert easily, to distract easily. Then you cannot focus what you are willing to do or what you are willing to achieve in your goal, achieve in your life. Like if you want to become a sports person, like a cricket, if you want to become the best cricketer, if you waste the time on dreaming and distracting yourself here in the class, then same thing will happen when you go for the coaching. When you train your brain how to follow the system here, then you can train your brain in your cricket. Then you can become, or you can rock in your sports. First learn the system, because no school will teach this. What happens? I have given in my Blinking Minds app, I have written the book, Every Student Can Become a Topper. I have written the 32 pages, the colorful pages, the secret code of a topper. There I will tell you what happens. Why students don't listen in the class. What are the reasons behind this? Why do they don't understand the topic? Why they don't read the lesson at home? Why learning becomes very tough for them? Why they don't get time to memorize? This all I will discuss, and if you subscribe and follow my channel, I will be keep updating coming up with the new videos to make every child to study with pleasure, not with pressure. This is my mission. If you want to join into my mission, just please subscribe, share and like the video so that I will come to know what exactly am I reaching to the student in a proper way. Because this concept is a new one. Because if a child don't study in the school, there is an option to go to the tuition center. When student doesn't study after going to the tuition, then parents will think of changing the school. Only this much. This is what we trapped. When I was studying, same thing happened. Before me, my parents and my elders studied the same thing. And when I was working in school, same thing happened. Now in the schools, the same thing happened. Schools are coming up with the video coaching, video training, or something else. But they are not training the brains of the students. First, the student needs to know what happens when we sit in the class. Why we don't listen in the class? Why we don't understand in the class? Why after learning hours and hours, why we don't remember after going into the examination hall? Because students won't ask these questions and teachers or parents won't give the answers. Because your parents or your teachers all were learned in the same method, because the society has made them to follow only this way. They are not focusing on the problem of a child, how the brain thinks in the class, how brain works, what happens, what are the reasons why they don't listen in the class. Parents think that we are sending to the school, and teachers think that we are explaining in a better way, and students think that I went to school, I listened, but the fact is they don't listen. Maximum 70% to 80% of the students don't listen in the class. They don't understand the topic, and they focus, if the school is not there, tuition is not there, school, this much only. When this both will finish, they end up with average, above average, topper. So to know more videos, please subscribe my channel and share with your friends so that everybody should know what exactly they should know, they should do in their studies, how they need to follow the system. So it has to reach many students who are struggling to learn, to understand what is happening with us, what is happening with my studies. They are breaking their heads. They are going for the suicidal or something, or dropping out from the colleges, dropping out from the studies, or traveling on the road, working for small jobs. So I'm not saying not to work, but when there is a scope for every child, they should know what to do. When they know what to do, after trying that, if they don't feel that they are not worth, then they can go for other things. So before that, it's our responsibility to teach a child what they need to know before learning any subject, before going to school. So this all will come to know. So just follow me. Thank you.